Afrofunkk represents designer Charlene Shephard Duncan's Afrocentric, big funky fashion vision for the world. The Grandy girl is here because she wants to be here. She says she wants to funk up Trinidad fashion for the better. Not surprisingly, another local fashion rule breaker, Yoko Fung, was an inspiration to Charlene. She tells me why.
Freedom. She's free. She didn't care. She did her thing and made her feel good. And that's how I feel, you know. She's just a free-spirited person. And I know, she told me a story, her lifestyle. She told me her life story, how she got ridiculed when she was younger and, she tried to express herself. She was being called everything under the sun, a freak, words I can't say on camera, yeah, so I kind of understand because they look at me like if I'm a freak here also, but I don't care. When my friend and I, we get dressed up and we feel good, we go out and, it's either we gay, or we're two freaks, Look at both of them, they're playing mascot, that kind of thing. So, but it doesn't faze us because we feel good about it.
Charlene Shephard Duncan has a take no prisoners approach to her designs for herself and for her clothing brand, Afrofunkk. She also has a home design collection called the Psychedelic Shack, with its rugs, woven baskets, and homeware collection. Charlene travels the world for her inspiration. She mixes prints, over-accessorizes, and loves bringing color. Her clothes are for the confident or to inspire confidence. She isn't concerned about the views of others, but she's here to help her customers look their best.
Not everything I make is for everybody in size, and I'll tell the customer that nicely, and I'll help them choose something else, for your body type. It's like me, I can't wear some of the things I make.
Why do?
It's not for my body. I'm a big chick, so I have to wear certain things,
Would you consider doing a plus size version?
Yes, I'm going to do a plus size. I'm really going to do a plus size, but it takes a long time to get the fit right.
Really?
Making a plus-size collection isn't as easy as cutting your designs for a larger frame. The clothes need to be designed from the very beginning for a larger body type.
Because we have curves, and we have little muffin tops and bulges, and, and you gotta, kind of camouflage that, but it's still gotta be a fit where it's not boxy. Because you're a plus girl, they think everything's supposed to be a box. No, we still got curves. So I got some fine curves, So I have to figure it out. It takes a long, long, long time. Doing plus size can take you 2 years to get the fit right.
On Saturday, 26 November, Charlene unveiled her latest collection for Afrofunkk, Spring-Summer 2017, Warriors Walk Alone.
Warriors Walk Alone is me and my backpack, getting on a plane, not knowing anybody in the country I'm going to. I don't know anybody over there. And I get on the plane and I get to the airport and I don't have a place to stay. And I'm calling my girlfriend in London. She's a concierge. I was like, yo, Mimi, you need to find me a hotel. And I get to the hotel and it's a real rinky-dinky hotel, so it's like a risk take. I'm on my own and I'm trying to create this collection, and it's my idea, and I'm making the decisions whether I think is a big risk or not, So everything is me by myself, And a warrior is a dude, and they go out and they hunt. And in order to become a warrior, you have to come back with a kill, like a lion's tooth or something like that, right? Which I know Peter might get me for saying this, but that's their way of living over there. That's their lifestyle. So me as a warrior, I'm going out and I'm getting the collection together and I'm bringing it back, in the sense of fashion. So yeah, that's what it's all about.
She had 4 interns from UTT's Caribbean Academy of Fashion and Design work with her runway presentation. And after this interview, she left to meet with the fashion students to talk about fashion in the real world. Sharing her knowledge is important.
Because I'm getting older. You can tell in my knees and, like my best friend said, she said, Burger, we have to buy a gun and we're going to shoot old age, right? Because you can tell, the things I done last year, I can't do it this year, because my body is telling me, you need to sit down. So I want to give my knowledge to the younger generation who wants it, because some of them, they don't want it. But the ones who want it, I want to share it with them so, they can carry on this thing called fashion. And I want to show them that they don't have to be afraid. That's the first thing. The second thing, they don't really get opportunities here from other designers. Well-known designers, they don't get the opportunity to intern and be hands-on, with the designer's collection, right? My collection, I had them all in it. They had to go through the clothes. There's the other side to the house where we store the stuff. They had to come here, go through the barrels, pull out the stuff, look at the stuff, get familiar with it. I had 2 fashion students, and I had 2 fashion management students, right? So it's like the fashion students, the two guys, they was A-class. They did their thing, and I left Steven to run backstage while I was gone, and he got nervous. And I was like, no, you don't get nervous. And what I did, I had them help style the collection on the runway. They had things to do, not just, I don't want to intern to be my caddy or anything like that. If you're coming to intern, you're coming to get some type of experience for your profession, because I was once an intern, so I know what it's all about. But they did a wonderful job.
And her advice to those interns?
Just being free and taking a risk, because they are afraid to take chances here in Trinidad and Tobago. And they're afraid what society is going to say, and they just shouldn't live with society. They just live for how they feel.
As you may have guessed, Charlene doesn't limit her boldness for her fashion. She's not one to mince words, especially when you get her talking about the local fashion industry. She has a very strong opinion of local designers, their work, the state of the industry, and I got her to share her thoughts with me.
And how I find the fashion industry, you want me to be real? It's boring. It's boring. It's just boring. Everybody's a fashion designer in Trinidad. Social media makes everybody a fashion designer. And like I say, they didn't pay the dues. Some of them didn't. Some did. And more power to those who did, right? But my best friend and I, we had a store on Anna Street, right? So we would go to the trade shows and shop for the store. So when we're shopping at the trade shows, you're shopping the production, right? Because we're buying production. Here, if there's a trade show that happen here in Trinidad in the morning, it's no production to shop. It's a lot of things. Like this morning I had an interview and the guy was asking me some questions, and I said, I don't think Trinidad and Tobago is ready for a fashion industry, because it's a lot that goes into my production. If you want 100 pieces from me right now, I can give you 100 pieces right now, But there's a lot of things. You first have to have good pattern makers. Then you have to have graders. You have to have technical designers. I don't know if they don't. I know one technical designer here, Giselle Brizan. That's it. I don't know any other technical designer in Trinidad. And a technical designer plays a big part in the fashion industry. And then you have to have markers. They don't even have the machine here to make a marker. And a marker is after you make the pattern and you fit the pattern on a fit model, because it must be fitted on a fit model, you then take it to the grader, the markers. Graders and markers, same thing, right? And they now grade the sizes that you want. And they do it on the computer. And then there's a big machine that prints it out. So that is what you take to the factory. The factory will not work with you if you do not have a marker, because it's a fast pace. They just want to lay and cut. You know, they don't want to have to measure nothing, you know. So they follow the marker, you know. So if your marker is not done right, you get what's on the marker. And then the garment is not done properly.
Fashion TT is working on setting up a garment production facility that would allow local designers to mass produce their clothes in numbers that would satisfy local retailers and international orders. If you speak to local designers, the lack of production facilities is a concern. Charlene is no different.
I work with one, she got a little small production house, I should say. Her name is Petra Moore, and I get it. She's good. So I don't really know anybody else. That's the only person who do a little part of my production here. When I decided that I was going to do some of my do a collection here, I got a lot of haters.
Locally?
Yeah. I don't know. So, but it doesn't bother me. I just say, y'all just gonna have to step your game up, you know? So, you know, it was, your stuff is not being done here, and you're not a Trinidadian, and, you know, so I decided, well, I know Petra, and I know Petra can give, you know, she does quality work, so I'm just gonna go to Petra's production house. So some of the stuff is done here.
Charlene is still based in New York, so she travels back and forth constantly. She left Trinidad the day after we recorded this interview. But even so, she wanted to bring her style to local customers, and she wanted to, as much as possible, produce it here. I asked her why she decided to go through all that trouble.
You know what? I wanted to bring my funk to where I was born, right? And there's a small little artsy community here that's really gonna like vibe with my stuff. So I decided, well, all right, I'll introduce it to them, and maybe they can introduce it to other people, and then other people will kind of want to take a chance kind of thing. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to bring it here. And I wanted to introduce a different kind of style, kind of way, you know, because it's like cut and dry here. I like my, like Antoinette said, it's short and tight, you know.
She has developed a following, even if some of them are a little conservative. Charlene's happy with the support, and it shows that some people are willing to think outside the box. We know of her love of Afrofunkk. I asked what other local designers' styles she liked.
When I look at Instagram, when I'm doing a collection, I don't really look at social media, or Instagram, or magazines, or anything.
You have to get into your own space.
Right. But when I'm not doing a collection and I'm on Instagram, Brown Cotton, she got some stuff that's jumping, you know. It's jiggy. I like this chick's jewelry. Jacqueline Charles. Coco Carib. Yeah, I like her jewelry. And I like Coco Vintage. I'm in love with her jewelry right now, the local designers. I like her jewelry. Basically, that's it. because like with Brown Cotton, she tends to take a risk, like step outside. She's trying to put one foot out the box, And I like some of James Hackett's new stuff. His stuff is pretty cool. His prints and, that kind of thing. But that's who I look at on Instagram.
Charlene has been very vocal about how the local industry has treated her. She talks about haters and the widespread criticism she's received here. Her message to the rest of the industry is very direct.
Stop biting. Stop. No, just try and create your own fun. Y'all gonna hate me. It's okay. Be an individual, I should say. Take that risk, take that chance. Don't be afraid. You never know what's gonna come out of it. When you take a chance, you don't know what's going to happen. And that's my advice to them. Just be yourself.
An Afrofunkk online store is coming in the next 6 or so months. Keep monitoring the Afrofunkk social media accounts for information about the brand, location, sales, and details about current and upcoming collections. That's it for this edition of Conversations with C News. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.